Hello and welcome to Coffee with the Angels. I'm Katie Kiefer of awakentheinnerlight.com and coffeewiththeangels.com. Today is March 2nd, 2018. It is a Friday, and we just had the full moon yesterday. And it has been a really cool couple of days. At least in my realm it has been. I hope it has been for you too. So Coffee with the Angels is actually where I sit down and I do a journaling kind of. I don't want to call it channeling because I'm not actually channeling. I'm just listening to what they have to say, and I'm asking them what they want to share. Sometimes I have a specific question, but I sit down and I do this. These messages have always applied to me in some way, shape, or form. So a lot of times it'll be something I'm curious about, something I'm working on. Um, it does apply to me in some way as well. So at first, I was not sharing them. I was just doing it as a personal thing. The next thing I know, I'm being guided to post them. And so then I went through one day and posted all of them. And so it was really interesting. So I hope that you find value and benefit in the messages of today. So what I do is I read what I wrote, and as you see this, I'm touching my book. I read what I wrote, and usually there is more that I can expand on, sharing some of my own experiences, my understandings. Um, and in the blog itself, you'll find the text written out. Most of the time, that's all that's in the blog, but like for yesterday, there's a whole list of things, a whole other set of things that an exercise that I did that I shared. So it varies. But if you want to see just the text that the angels said, their direct message, you can go to coffeewiththeangels.com and you'll find that there. So Awaken the Inner Light is my main website. Coffee with the Angels is the blog. So just so you know, wonder why that is? Well, that's why. So today, the topic is a time of germination. And so for me, I have felt like the gates have opened. Had been really in a state of feeling suspended. And so it now feels like the gates have opened. It's still slow, it's still one step at a time, but the gates are open and I can feel that flow of the energy moving through. And so I talked to a friend of mine last night in a state of suspension. And so then I see Andrew Martin, and I haven't watched this video, but he talks. There's one he's recently one he's got. It's trust the process. I'm like, okay, clearly, a lot of us are in this state of waiting, and so today the angels say that we're in a time of germination, which feels so spot on for me. So I'm going to read to you what the angels said, and then maybe we'll talk some more. We'll see. The angels say, some of you feel suspended, as if entranced. During this time, you are getting large and loud no's and stop signs as you attempt to push onward. Heed the warnings. Slow down. Allow the process of your evolution. Pushing onward is itself a form of resistance. Only take each step as it is revealed. Spend time with yourself, reflecting on how you feel and the thoughts you have. There are clues there as to what needs to shift for you to fully reach your desires. Trust yourself and your guidance. Should doubt or fear peek in, ask for confirmation that what you are doing or not doing is the correct path. We are here to help and comfort you. We can only assist with your request, and you can ask more. Many of you aren't asking at all. Many of you are asking the wrong questions. We want to assist you, guide you, and help you grow. It is your journey, and we will never interfere. For those of you who like a lot of activity and feel strange in this space of quietness and waiting, ask for something to do. Understand this: we will not give you diversion. This is a time you must do your inner work of healing and growing. As you do that, we will gladly give you things to do to keep you active. You must have and maintain high self-awareness to what you are doing. Trust yourself, your divine team, creator, and time. You are in a state of germination as plants do in the quiet stillness under the earth. Allow yourself time, stillness, and quiet so you can grow strong roots. Do not rush. Bloom when the time is right for you. And that is the message of the angels for today. I feel very humbled by today's message. That state of suspension, that state of quietness. I knew something was happening. I usually know, ooh, something's going on. But I like to have the language. I'm very linguistic. I like to have the language that goes with it. So this is this space of germination is really, it's sweet to me. There's a sweetness there. And it has been easier with my work with the angels because it's not just sitting down in the morning. There is also this element of, I hear music instead of resentment thought loops. So things that are going on in my head have shifted in part because I have asked. I have really asked for assistance with this. I've asked for things to do. So I'm finding myself helping my friend who's looking for a house. So, I'll kind of check out online and I'll go places with her with things she needs to do. And not a lot, but it's been those days where I feel like I have to do something. I need to feel productive for the day. I get something to do, and it is not a diversion. And that's what's been really interesting because it is so easy for us to get into these avoidance patterns and avoidance ways of being. And activity is absolutely something we can get into and completely avoid our inner work. And so I really caution you to just be aware. Be aware. When you are in activity, is it because you want to avoid something that's uncomfortable, or is it that you just need some activity? And while you're doing that, your inner self, your greater being, is still in this process of, okay, what's going on? What is this work? Because sometimes we need that space inside for the beliefs to come forward, for the feelings to come forward, for the issues to come forward. Sometimes it's a matter of we just need that space to process. And so the brain and sometimes the body just needs something to do. And so as long as you are giving yourself that inner space to process or just allow things to come up, whatever the case may be, or even to just have a new experience, after the processing is done, after the work, after the processing, and then you're like, ooh, this is a new experience. So as long as you are giving yourself that space, you'll be fine. The angels and your divine team will not give you a diversion. If you are asking for a diversion, you are asking the wrong questions. And so you may not know that you're asking for diversion. So if you're asking for something, you're not getting it, or things just don't seem to be working out right, you might be asking the wrong questions. And that is one of the biggest things I have found and have experienced in my life. For a really long time, I asked the wrong questions. When I started to focus on me and my healing instead of trying to change what's outside because it was so painful, when I went inside and started asking the right questions, things got a whole lot easier. And when you ask the right question, things will happen quickly. If you don't know what the right question is, ask for clues, ask for guidance, ask what the right question is, see what happens. Okay, this is the issue. What is the right question? And give yourself some time. You may get it right away. It may take a little while for it to fully form and come in, and that's okay. Allow yourself the space for your evolution. You are in a time of germination. And even if, like me right now, it feels like the doors have opened, it's still a good idea, one step at a time. We're not running a race here. There is no one who's going to win and no one to lose. This is all about us each as individuals. There is no race. There is no hurry. Sometimes things feel really urgent, and I know that. And some of that is just our human perspective. So slow down, tune in, ask your angels, your divine team for assistance. They will help you, and they can't help you if you don't ask. The only time they can intervene on your behalf without your asking is if it is literally a life and death situation and it's not your time. That's it. And do you really want to develop that kind of a crisis to let them in? You have that choice. You can, by all means. You have that as an option. But what if you listen to the small messages before they become an issue, before they become a problem? If you find yourself in crisis, you've missed all the messages. And it's okay. There's no judgment. You just got to clean it up. You'll get it. It's fine. But if you can hear the messages before it becomes a crisis, it makes life easier. And we're not always going to, especially if, like me, you're a little hard-headed. I've been very hard-headed in my lifetime. And the more I do this work, the more I change and shift in my belief systems, the more I align with the all that is and with my sacred self, the easier it is because I don't need to be hard-headed. I'm more selective with it now. So, yeah, it's part of my humanness, but it is what it is. And that will or won't change with time. I always like to be open to change. Even my perspectives and my beliefs. This is how it is at the moment, always open and subject to change. With further information, further insight, maturity, whatever, it is subject to change. So it's okay to do that. It's okay for you to be where you are and also be different at another time. To have even opposing opinions and views at another time in your life. Release yourself from the obligation of being stuck. Release yourself from the obligation of being in this perceived place or this perceived thing or this perceived way of being. If you succumb to those kinds of obligations and views and whatever it is, then you cease to evolve. So allow the quiet, allow the stillness, be in that space of quiet stillness. You're moving things out of the way. You're making room for new growth. Allow it to happen. Ask for your divine team to assist you. They will. Ask the right questions. You've got this. If you're coming up on something really big, get help from a practitioner, from whatever technique or modality you like. Personally, the Theta Healing Technique is my number one go-to. It works for me. I've learned how to do it. I do practice it. It's sessions that I offer, or the sessions that I offer are done in the Theta Healing Technique as the basis. And so there's a lot of different things. There's hypnosis, there's EFT tapping, there's readings. You can just do a reading just to kind of figure out what you're doing, where you're going. Excuse me, if you're on the right path. Something to remember about readings. Your practitioner is reading the energy of where you are now and the trajectory from where you are now. All it takes is a little change. Just a small change, and the entire outcome can be different. So just remember that, just know that. So it can help you to discern if you are on the right path, how to make that path a little bit easier and clear things out a little bit. You can get that in readings. There's just all sorts of things you can do. And there's tons of different kinds of readings. So if you need assistance, find it, get it. It is worth your time, it is worth your while, and it is worth you investing yourself into, because this is your journey, this is your life, and this is your evolution as a human being and as a soul. Take your time, do what you need to do, allow yourself to be. And if you like activity, ask for things to do that are in harmony with this time of germination and growth. And you'll get it, and it'll be perfect. Perfect for you. So, that's what I'm hearing. I hear that we're done. We're up. It's under 20 minutes today. That's awesome. So anyway, I hope you have a fantastic day. It is beautiful and quite windy here in central North Carolina. I hope that it's beautiful and not so windy where you are. So have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.